Hello traders, and welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the single most important factor that determines your success or failure in the markets. It's not your strategy. It's not your indicators. It's not even how much capital you have. It's the 6 inches between your ears. The mind is the ultimate battlefield in trading. And on this battlefield, two titans are locked in an eternal struggle: fear and greed. These two emotions are the puppet masters that pull the strings of the vast majority of traders, leading them to blow up accounts and walk away from their dreams. But it doesn't have to be that way. Today, we're not just going to talk about fear and greed. We're going to dissect them. We'll explore how they sneak into your decision-making. We'll look at real-world historical examples where these emotions cost people trillions. And most importantly, I'm going to give you a complete toolkit of actionable, practical strategies to conquer them. By the end of this video, you will have a clear roadmap to move from being a puppet to becoming the puppet master of your own trading psychology. So, grab a notepad, because class is in session. Let's start with the more seductive of the two beasts: greed. In trading, greed isn't just about wanting to make money. We all want to make money. That's why we're here. Trading greed is a specific kind of poison. It's the irrational, all-consuming desire for asterisk, more asterisk, and for it to happen asterisk. Right now, asterisk. It's the voice in your head that whispers, why settle for a good profit when you could have a life-changing one on this single trade? This is where the self-sabotage begins. How does this manifest in your trading? First, greed convinces you to risk 10 or even 20% of your account on one sure thing, because you're recalculating the potential mansion you could buy, not the potential margin call you could get. Second, you start ignoring your plan set to get out at a specific price, but the trade goes against you, and greed says, hold on, it'll turn around. You know it will. Don't leave all that money on the table. Suddenly, a small, manageable loss turns into a catastrophic one. Greed also makes you chase parabolic moves. You see a stock or a coin going vertical, and you buy at the absolute top, just as the smart money who bought low is selling their positions. 2. Finally, greed stops you from taking profits. You hit your profit target. Your plan is screaming sell, but greed whispers, this could be the one. This could be a 10-bagger. You hold on, only to watch all your unrealized gains evaporate and maybe even turn into a loss. This isn't a new phenomenon. History is littered with the wreckage caused by collective greed. Take the dot-com bubble in the late 90s. The story was simple. The internet was the future, so any company with .com in its name was a guaranteed winner. People quit their jobs to day trade stocks of companies with no revenue, no profits, and sometimes no actual product. They weren't investing. They were gambling on a fantasy, driven by pure, unadulterated greed. We all know how that ended. A more recent example, the cryptomania cycles, like in 2017 or 2021. The hype was deafening. Stories of people turning a few $100s into millions fueled a frenzy. People poured their life savings into obscure altcoins they couldn't even explain, not because of the technology, but because of the dream of a 1000x return. Greed was at the wheel, and when the market turned, it drove millions of people right off a cliff. So how do we fight back? The first weapon is an unbreakable trading plan. I mean it. Your entry point, your stop loss, and your profit targets must be defined with cold, hard logic asterisk. Before asterisk you ever click the buy button. Your job during the trade is not to think. It's to execute the plan you made when you were objective. Second, use a tiered profit-taking strategy. Instead of hoping for one giant home run, sell portions of your position at predefined levels. For example, sell 30% at your first target, move your stop loss to break even, sell another 30% at your second target, and let the rest run. This satisfies the desire for profit while banking real gains and removing risk. Lastly, I want you to try something different. A gratitude journal for trading. At the end of each day, don't just focus on your P&L. Write down wins like I followed my plan perfectly today, or I resisted the urge to chase a bad entry. Celebrate disciplined execution. When you start rewarding good behavior instead of just lucky outcomes, You rewire your brain to prioritize process over pure profit. And that is the ultimate antidote to greed. Now let's face the other monster. The one that lives in the shadows. Fear. If greed is the siren song luring you onto the rocks, fear is the deep, dark abyss that paralyzes you. Fear in trading isn't a single thing. It's a spectrum of anxieties that can cripple your performance. The most common manifestation is the fear of losing. You see a perfect A+ setup that matches every rule in your trading plan, but you hesitate. Your finger hovers over the mouse, and you freeze. The memory of your last loss flashes in your mind, and you do nothing, only to watch the trade play out perfectly without you. Then there's its toxic cousin, FOMO. The fear of missing out. This is a destructive blend of fear and greed. You missed the initial move, but you see it keeps going up. Fear screams that you're being left behind, that everyone else is getting rich. So you jump in late, at a terrible price, often right before the reversal. Another one is the fear of being wrong. You're in a profitable trade. It's working beautifully. But then there's a small, normal pullback. Fear panics. What if I lose it all? It convinces you to cut your winning trade short, snatching a tiny profit, only to watch it continue to your original, much higher target. Your fear of being wrong costs you the majority of the potential gain. And finally, there's the ugliest form of fear. Revenge trading. After a loss, or a series of losses, fear mixes with anger. You feel the market has personally wronged you. You abandon your plan and start taking impulsive, oversized trades to make it back quickly. Revenge trading is not trading. It's a desperate, emotional tantrum, and it's the fastest way to blow up an account. History shows us the devastating power of collective fear. Look at the 2008 financial crisis or the COVID crash in March 2020. The news was terrifying. Uncertainty was everywhere, and the markets were in a freefall. Driven by extreme fear, investors panic-sold everything at the absolute bottom. They weren't managing risk. They were reacting to a primal fear of losing everything. In doing so, they locked in devastating losses. And what happened next? The market staged one of the fastest and most powerful recoveries in history. Those who let fear dictate their actions not only solidified their losses, but also missed the entire ride back up. So, what are our weapons against fear? First and foremost, asymmetrical risk management. This is your shield. I'm talking about the 1% or 2% rule. You should never risk more than 1 to 2% of your total trading capital on any single trade. Internalize this. If you know, with absolute certainty, that no single loss can ever significantly harm your account, fear loses its power over you. It just becomes a data point. Next, you need to start treating your trading journal like a data scientist. Don't just log your entries and exits, log your emotions. Write down felt anxious, hesitated on entry, or felt angry after the loss, and revenge traded. After a month, analyze it. Quantify it. You might find that fear-based decisions, like skipping good trades or closing winners early, are costing you thousands of dollars. When you see the hard data, it's a powerful wake-up call to change your behavior. Finally, a technique used by elite athletes and performers. Visualization and mental rehearsal. Before the market opens, close your eyes. Visualize a perfect trade setup appearing. See yourself calmly and decisively executing your plan. Then, visualize a trade hitting your stop loss. See yourself accepting the loss with discipline, closing the trade without emotion, and moving on to the next opportunity. By rehearsing these scenarios mentally, you train your brain to react calmly and correctly when they happen in real time. So, we've dissected greed and unmasked fear. We have strategies to combat them. But there's a final piece to this puzzle. The bridge that connects your knowledge to consistent profitability. Patience and discipline. Conquering fear and greed is a defensive act. It's about stopping yourself from making mistakes. Patience and discipline are offensive acts. They are about proactively doing the right thing, over and over again. This is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. The amateur trader feels like they need to be doing something all the time. They crave action. They're glued to the screen, forcing trades that aren't there because they're bored. The professional trader, on the other hand, understands they are paid to wait. Think of it like a sniper versus a machine gunner. The amateur sprays bullets everywhere, hoping to hit something, and quickly runs out of ammo. The professional sniper can wait for hours, or even days, motionless, waiting for that one single, perfect shot where the odds are overwhelmingly in their favor. Your A-plus setups are your perfect shots. Your job is to have the discipline to wait for them and the patience to ignore everything else. You have to embrace the boring parts of trading. The truth is, successful trading, when done correctly, is often incredibly boring. It's about meticulous planning, patient waiting, and disciplined execution. It's a process, not a constant thrill ride. If you want excitement, go to a casino. If you want to be a profitable trader, learn to love the process. Let's bring it all together. We've journeyed deep into the trader's mind today. We've seen that greed convinces you to break your rules for the promise of a fantasy jackpot, while fear paralyzes you or causes you to panic at the worst possible moments. But you now have the tools. You have the unbreakable trading plan and tiered profit-taking to tame greed. You have asymmetrical risk management and mental rehearsals to defang fear. And you have the guiding principles of patience and discipline to light your path forward. Remember, the goal isn't to become a robot, void of all emotion. That's impossible. The goal is to stop your emotions from being the one in the driver's seat. Your job is to acknowledge the feeling, thank it for its input, and then let your rationale, well-prepared trading plan make the final decision. The end goal is to transition from being an emotional gambler to becoming the calm, collected, and profitable CEO of your own trading business. You are in control. Thanks for watching this deep dive into trading psychology. If you found real value in this and it resonated with you, do me a favor and hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for more content designed to help you master the art of trading. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let me know. Which emotion, fear or greed, do you struggle with the most in your trading journey? Let's get a conversation going. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.